Hi everyone. I want to speak today about the significance of clearing subconscious trauma and subconscious experiences on the twin flame journey. So, you know very well that this journey is a journey of renewal and renewal of your old, from your old self to your new self. It is a sort of a rebirth that you are taking, that you are already experiencing. You're already experiencing that kind of a rebirth by letting go of old habits. The old things don't resonate with you. The old way of existing is not who you are anymore. Your old habits are not who you are. You know, old likes and dislikes, everything is sort of shifting to a new way of being, to a way of being which is purer. Purer in what sense? Purer because she has shed, the programming. She has shed what was making her go away from her true self. So now no longer is she in compulsive situations. So one change that you will notice is that earlier, if you were trapped in karmic situations and karmic friendships, this was just the mainstay of your life pretty much. All friendships and relationships were painful. Most of them were, or they were very superficial, or you were seeking something deeper in superficial connections. Those things have completely fallen off because no longer can you operate in that experience. You don't need another person to make you feel fulfilled about you. And this kind of a shift, when it starts to happen, we see it physically happen very very fast. Like physically you may have ascended out of those situations really fast, but this journey will urge you to go even deeper. And if there are subconscious impressions stored still, even though you have moved out of the physical situations, those will be brought up, and those can be painful, and they can be confusing, and they can make you think, why is this coming up now? When something happened 10 years ago, why is this coming up now in my dreams? Especially in your dreams, this is common. So I want to share one thing with you today that you can do to clear at least the karma or the impressions of certain situations that you are aware of need to be cleansed out of your system. So if there is a person that you were in a relationship with, all right, and you have obviously, you're over it, it's done and everything, but the impression still remains. I would urge you to go inside of you and see what comes up for that person still inside of you. Any kind of feelings, any kind of lack, of self worth that you experienced with this person, any kind of pain that comes up, and process that pain, like by seeing where that pain is coming from, feeling that pain, and completely letting that pain go when you feel it fully. And when you start to do this, um, see what your inner self basically needs from you in these places. Does the inner self need to be loved? Does the inner self need to be told that she is worthy? So once you have done this, you can set the intention that now you are ready to release this person from your life. And this means that cutting all contact physically also, because sometimes what we think that it's okay, I can always be friends with this person, or this person can contact me once in a year. Why do you need that person once in a year? Why do you need to meet them once in 6 months? If something of that sort is still remaining in your life, you have to cleanse it out, because there is a deeper connection within, which is attracting this person back into your life like this. There is a cord which is still in place. Okay, so examine that also. What is the purpose that this person is still serving in my life, if they are still present in your life as a friend or something else, or as an acquaintance? You have to release that completely. You have to completely let that go. It is very important. You are creating space for your counterpart, your counterpart's energy. That union energy can only come in when you hold space for it. If the space is filled with other things that we don't even know are important things, we think that it's not important if I meet my ex-boyfriend once in a year. It is important. Why are you meeting still? What is the cord there? Why were you in this relationship? There was a lesson that you were learning. When the lesson is learned, the relationship is over. If that person is still present in your life in some sense, which is not adding any value to you, and I'm very certain that this will not be very uplifting for you to keep this person like this. When you meet them once in a year, it's not like a great experience for you. Okay? So be very, very, very aware, very, very honest with yourself. And you can set the intention in your subconscious mind. You can just set the intention that I want to completely release this person from my existence and from my experience of life now, and all parts of this person's memory in my body, in my mind. I'm ready to let it go. And when you start to do this, you can pray to your higher self to do this. And you can start experiencing profound dreams around this person, where you will see this. Dreams are very metaphorical. Dreams have a certain imagery which has to be decoded, but as you go along on this journey, it's fairly easy to decode those dreams. So you can have dreams about what this situation really represented to you. All right. So in my experience, what had happened was, then I was cleansing a relationship with a person from many many years ago. And when I was able to go within and look at, okay, what is it that is really causing this pain and causing this problem, and why is there still a little bit of that friendship which remains, which is not uplifting, but it is just honestly degrading, to even keep that much. And when I was able to, do this healing within me, in my subconscious self, visiting, what I really needed and all of that. After this, when I had decided to cut cords, and, in my dream state, all of this started to become very active. So, metaphorically, I would see myself sitting with this person, and there's a whole social, stuff that is happening around. And this was also the nature of that relationship. It was very much around socializing, and because this person was like that, so there was a whole scene there which to me now seemed very insignificant, and it seemed very stupid. But somehow, because of the karma, I could sense that I am still trapped in that situation, and I'm still sitting, but inside I have a feeling like I'm wasting my time. And this used to be the feeling that I used to have with this person also, in the socializing and everything, so many years ago in that relationship. But this was the repressed feeling that I was now able to access. That, yes, there was a repressed feeling where I used to feel that I was wasting my time throughout the connection, throughout the relationship, throughout the socializing, and all of that. And immediately I also felt that I was pulled in two different directions. I felt pulled into you know a situation with my grandparents, where I wanted to really be there with my grandmother at that time. Inside, maybe there was a feeling that the time that I'm spending with this person, I could rather go home and I could just be with my grandmother. And something of the sort was also playing out in the dream, that my inner self really didn't want to be there. But because we are so much under the influence of the karmic traps, we are so much under the influence of karma, and we are unawakened. So in our unawakened state, we do all of these silly things. We do things that we don't know, we don't want to do, but on the inside they feel deeply uncomfortable. All right. And there were symbolisms, as well present. Like in the dream, I had a white lizard on my hair, and somebody came and told me, you have a lizard on your hair. And then they cleansed it from my hair, and then they said it's a white lizard. And then I looked up what a white lizard meant, and it had meant purification, a renewal, a rebirth. And there were a lot of, I was in many scenes where I was going inside bathrooms. And I just remember, those bathrooms, just the shower, like heads and everything present. So just meaning that there is a cleansing, which is happening of the deep subconscious, because bathrooms can represent deep, subconscious feelings and emotions and stuff like that, and other things that normally, we are ashamed of. And a very painful scenario playing out in my real life that I was not able to tend to. That was also what I was able to see in this. So what was this representing to me, simply was that this was the dichotomous state that I was experiencing in that relationship. And now that I have chosen to remove this person, the remnant of even, this person, when I had set that intention that I'm ready to let this person go completely, like I don't even want to have this person around as that once in a year coffee friend, like no, so um, and when I had gone deeper and tried to assess what this was triggering in me, all of this had, surfaced. So there was suddenly a remembrance of the dichotomous state of my being in this connection. That superficially doing things that I felt were important, but internally not liking it, internally maybe wanting to be elsewhere, maybe feeling like I was running away from my responsibilities, I was running away from my real life, I was running away from stuff that mattered to me in my heart, stuff I wanted to do, you know. And this is what I was cleansing, and I had no idea that this was present in this intensity. We think we're over a relationship and that's it. No, how did that relationship make you feel, you know? So different people can have different kind of purging. Many people will just cry and purge that whole thing out, many will have intense dream states, and dreams are partial purging. Always dreams are not complete purging, dreams are a very potent purging. But if you can also consciously visit if there are still feelings present inside of you, then that is a complete kind of a purge. You, if dreams have purged 70%, then the 30% you're purging consciously as well. All right, you can journal it out, you can burn what you write about, but this is a powerful way of creating that space, that now I'm freed from these impressions and I'm freed from, this way of acting. And what does this mean? This, in some sense, I am now open, I am more open, because if this kind of a block was still present in my subconscious, it was definitely blocking me from being my true self. Still there was still a certain obstacle that this was presenting that I'm not realizing, because my true self is, as a feminine, the true self is empty. It's the emptiness, which the feminine basically embodies, right? In so many ways, it's the purity. What is purity? Purity is emptiness, right? So similarly, childhood trauma can come up, connections with your parents, your siblings, don't overlook any of this. If in any of these places you have been hurt, if you can just majorly look at your past relationships, you can majorly look at the past horrific friendships, if you can look at, parents, and you can look at your siblings and some other relatives who have played an important role in your life, this is where basically the major trauma will be centered around. All right, this is important. If you can start to look here, if you feel guided to, that is, that is always a caveat that applies, because if you don't feel like, if you say no, nothing, I had a really good childhood and I literally didn't have anything to complain about, I didn't have too many relationships, there's not much there for me to look into, that's completely up to you. But this is specifically, what I am sharing, because in my experience, these are very important areas to look into, because these are the places where we had felt disempowered. And this is a journey of your empowerment. This is that journey where you are finding your completeness within you. You're finding your voice again. You're finding who your true self is, and you're ready to express your true self, Where was that true self lost? Why was that true self not able to come through earlier? Why was she repressed somewhere, subdued in some sense, not able to be her true self, was painful for her. So if in all of these areas she can go back and she can claim her power, and she can just understand how she was giving away this power, and still these dynamics are playing in that same way. Still in that same way, these dynamics are still playing a role unconsciously. Consciously, maybe not so visibly is she giving her power away, but unconsciously she still might be giving her power away in certain dynamics. Wherever you feel bullied, wherever you feel disrespected, wherever you feel afraid, wherever you feel afraid of losing somebody, or afraid of being shunned out, afraid of being an outcast, can be anything. All of these areas you have to look at, you have to claim these areas back. This is a very powerful, potent way to do this. If you're working with, your subconscious and releasing these patterns and impressions. So this is what I wanted to speak about today, that how you can start to direct, certain areas of your life in which certain purging can happen, but otherwise also know that the purging has a mind of its own, because it is coming from your higher self, it is coming from a higher power. And as the kundalini, for those of you who have had a kundalini awakening, when the kundalini also rises, it starts to purge out older things. So this is just the way you are assisting, the purge in some sense. You are really finally saying, okay, I'm ready to cleanse the whole thing. Tell me, what is it that I should do? Okay. So in this context, I have shared this. If you find it useful, you can do it. Many of you will want to, take action and will want to speed up, your process of purging, of purification, of union. And for those of you who wish to do this, this is, just some insight that I'm sharing. For those of you who are okay to just go with the flow and allow the purging to happen in its own time and the way it is already happening, that's also perfectly okay. All right, that is your individual choice. Remember that. It's very well your individual choice. So this is all, guys. Take care. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. If you feel guided to book a one-on-one session, you can email me. I will respond to you when I'm able to, because I will not be accessing my email too frequently till about the third week of October, and then we can definitely, schedule a session. So take care. Bye.